You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on NGSCSports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You could do a dumb one like I did.
No, I gave you the actual spoiler. I'm an asshole. Third time I've said it. This is like I'm talking to my 3-year-old. I am an asshole.
Where did you hear that?
It's all over the internet. Go figure. The internet are assholes too.
Yeah, well, we knew that.
Yeah. Basically, I was looking at different things on Facebook, different comments, and people are being even bigger assholes than me. They're just going into comments of like things totally unrelated and just putting all the spoilers on there.
Nice. All right. Well.
Going under like ESPN stories and just like, oh, here's what happens. Wow, you people are dicks.
I figured he was gonna die because I doubted they were gonna get Harrison Ford for more than one movie, but
can't afford for another one.
I don't know if so they can. Well, because his asking price to do this garbage must be at least like $1 bajillion.
I would say so. For me to reprise that role 35 years later, yeah, you'd be paying me out the ass too.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So there you go. Now, welcome to episode 85 of a Foreign Affair podcast, the Spoiler Cast.
Now wait, which order should they listen to the podcast in to get everything? Which tightly cut versions of the podcast should they listen to?
Oh man, they should. I would
tightly cut all of them.
I think you just take 1 minute from every podcast.
Yeah. Just listen to what country I say goodnight to. That's all you need.
There you go. It's a running joke basically at this point. Welcome. I am Edward Green, the jerk across from me through Skype who just spoiled Star Wars for everyone. Is Wes Bradshaw. Say hi, Wes.
Hello, world.
Oh, welcome to the Foreign Affair podcast, where we're not going to talk any more Star Wars. We have an amazing week. Or 2 weeks in some people's cases of soccer to talk about. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sort of combine everything from the last 2 weeks into one gigantic recap, because there is narrative storylines that wove their way through the last 2 weeks of the Premier League. So we will discuss that. We will also discuss the Champions League draw as well as the Europa League draw that took place this Monday. Get our thoughts on who got a good draw, who got a bad draw, and who's going to be advancing. We'll also have a quick FIFA Club World Cup recap, because that is a thing that is happening right now.
Sure.
Yay! Sure, why not? I don't even remember where it is, and I have the website up.
Usually like in Japan or something?
Yeah, usually. I will also discuss news and notes, a lot of head coaching news and rumors going about right now. We'll also have your other big story of the week, Watch For, and So Raw. And of course, this podcast is presented to you by NGSC Sports and NGSCSports.com. We never stop. You can find them on Twitter at NGSC Sports. Find us on Twitter at AFA Pod. Wes is at Wes Bradshaw21, and I'm at Edward Green. Find our sister show on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, which is called All New Sports Show. Email us allnewsportshow@gmail.com. Finally, mail us your last-minute Christmas gifts to 1701 Sunset Avenue, Suite 201, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, 27804. Wes, let us dally no longer. Let us quickly fly. Let's hop in the Millennium Falcon one more time and fly through this weekend's Premier League scores. That's actually pretty good. Thanks, Chewy. So on Saturday, you had Norwich 1, Everton 1, You had Crystal Palace 1, Southampton, suddenly struggling Southampton, 0. Manchester City 2, Swansea 1. Embattled Swansea cannot get a point on the road at the Etihad. A last-minute winner by the youngster Iheanacho. Wins it again for City. Sunderland 0, Watford 1. And as time goes on, Watford is looking more and more like a very good mid-table team. West Ham 0, Stoke 0, not much sexy football there. And of course, I think the result of the weekend, AFC Bournemouth 2, Manchester United 1. We'll discuss both those teams more in a little bit. On Sunday, it was Aston Villa 0, Arsenal 2, Liverpool 2, West Brom 2, and Tottenham 1, Newcastle 2. On Monday night,
known as the greatest draw in Premier League history.
Yes, where somebody said somebody acted like an idiot. We'll let you know.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it. And on Monday Night Football on NBC Sports, it was Leicester City 2, the champions Chelsea 1. Wes, you were gone last week to parts unknown, so we trudged on without you. Some football teams did better than others without you here. But Liverpool Football Club has obviously missed you. In the last 2 weeks, they've lost to Newcastle and drawn West Brom. What are your thoughts of the club now after the last couple weeks and this draw to West Brom, where Divock Origi got a late equalizer?
Well, let's start just really, really quick. My thoughts on the Newcastle match. I mean, that was a comeback down to earth moment for the Reds. You know, we've been riding this great crest of emotion since Jurgen Klopp came on, and you knew sooner or later it was going to have to end. Mm-hmm. You know, you would hope with someone like Newcastle that, you know, you'd be able to go and get 3 points. But as we've since seen, Newcastle seems to have found a little run of form here. So, I mean, that's just what it is. You know, we lost. It happens. As far as the West Brom match, God, that was a weird match for Liverpool because that was a match that Liverpool basically dominated. Mm-hmm. 2 set pieces that were both a little fluky. You know, put them on the wrong end of 2-1. Dejan Lovren took an absolutely hideous tackle in the second half of that match. That is what led to the extended stoppage time. And as you say, you know, Origi scores literally in, I believe it was the 98th minute. Origi scores. A very heated contest between Liverpool and West Brom, kind of highlighted after the game with Klopp not shaking hands with Tony Pulis. Klopp has gone on and said that he was very bothered by a lot of the tackles that West Brom put in, and that's kind of why he didn't feel he wanted to shake Tony Pulis's hand. A lot's been made of that. A whole lot has been made about the kind of post-game actions of Liverpool, in which Klopp took his team over in front of the world-famous spying cop and had his team salute the cop. This can be seen in one of 2 ways. There's the way that Craig Burley and ESPN FC tried to twist it, which is called the wrong way. And then there's the right way. The wrong way being that, oh God, Liverpool, look at them. They're celebrating a draw. How ridiculous is this? How stupid are they? They're celebrating a draw. Is that what they've come to expect? A draw against West Brom. If anyone ever happened to watch Jurgen Klopp when he coached at this little place called Borussia Dortmund,
I've heard of that.
They would have noticed that pretty much after every home match, Borussia Dortmund did the exact same thing to the famed yellow wall. Mm-hmm. What it was Klopp taking his team over and having his team thank the supporters for their support in that day's match. You know, a big deal was made a little over a month ago where, you know, Klopp made comments after the loss to Crystal Palace about Liverpool fans leaving before the match was over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in this one, all the reports I've read, this was one of the better atmospheres at Liverpool in years, where even after the Reds fell down 2-1, the crowd completely stayed in the match, stayed on their feet, cheered, sang, clapped, willed their team to the equalizer. And Klopp felt that was the right time. We're going to thank you, the fans, for everything that you did today to help us get where we went. Jurgen Klopp is a very emotional man. He's a man who runs on high emotion. And, when he is moved by his fans and wants to say thank you, I mean, where's the problem in that?
I don't know. I think this is a really dumb controversy.
I think it is too. And Craig Burley of all people has just really, really punched into this. And, anyone kind of knows Craig Burley's an idiot. I mean, he's a Scottish blowhard, and that's why he has a job on ESPN, because basically they like the fact that he's just dumb enough to go out there and say anything, no matter if it's backed up or not.
Embrace debate, baby.
Embrace the idiocy. But, at the end of the day for Liverpool, it was a lucky equalizer at the end, but an unlucky being down 2-1. Mignolet with a couple of mistakes there.
Oh, shocker.
Really hurt them. People calling for Mignolet's head. So, of course, then what do we hear this week? We're giving him a 5-year extension.
Wait, really?
That is the word coming out. And that is coming from Klopp, that Klopp wants Mignolet.
Oh, no.
So, I guess we'll see what happens. But that is the word coming out of Merseyside, is that we are prepared to offer him a 5-year extension.
All right. So that's
yay.
That's a thing that's going on there. All right. We'll quickly talk because there's really not much to say about the Tottenham Newcastle match. Newcastle came back late against Spurs. Second time this season, Spurs have let a lead go late at home. Last time it was against Stoke, but it was a 2-goal lead. So they were able to salvage a draw this time. Not so lucky. Actually happened almost exactly like last year's match did, which the commentators love to pound down people's throats. That was very fun to listen to. This is, I assume, the kind of match that's going to happen sometimes for Spurs. It's just 45 minutes in the first half, they were great. And it went 1-up on another Eric Dyer goal. Last 45 minutes, they just kind of stopped caring. And not in a bad way. I don't mean that they actually stopped caring, but they just didn't come out with the same sort of life in the second half. And that's something I think a young team will do from time to time. They will start to look ahead in the second 45 and not really finish out the game strong. And that's where Tottenham will need to get better if they want to make a reasonable top 4 challenge this year. Is they're going to need to learn to put games away. They can't all be Manchester City 1, Tottenham 4. They do need to start showing a little bit more grit in these tighter games, even against a team like Newcastle, who now has 2 wins on the trot. So those are my thoughts there. But really, I mean, there was a couple big matches this weekend. None maybe bigger on Saturday than AFC Bournemouth 2, Manchester United 1. Speaking of
the cherries.
Speaking of 2 wins on the trot, Bournemouth now have beaten Chelsea at Stamford Bridge and now have beaten Man United at home in consecutive weeks in the Premier League. They are rising up the table now, currently in 14th place, right above Newcastle. This is stunning, but it's so fun to watch, Wes. And this is a team that, we had kind of slowly started to write off a little bit as the season progressed, thanks to all the injuries they were having. Especially, Callum Wilson's, very early in the season, he was someone who they thought was going to score a lot of goals for them, and he got hurt so early. But now the folk hero that is Glenn Murray has come on and been absolutely a dominant force here these last couple weeks. And I truly believe if there's a team that is just going to try and will themselves out of the relegation zone this year, it's Bournemouth, and they are doing one hell of a job right now.
Well, Glenn Murray, if you're a Liverpool fan, a name that